Hey, welcome yet to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Dr. Faith Elizabeth Nanyonga. If you're listening in today, I'd like to take this minute to thank you for each and every time that you tune in to listen to me as I teach about career development and personal development. Your support is invaluable to me, and I don't take it for granted. If it's your first time here, welcome to the theframedsolutions podcast. And if you'd like to be a fan, there are 3 ways you can support this show and spread the love. Every single share, subscribe count matters, so do not think your efforts go unnoticed. The first way you could support this show is by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. Reviews not only make the world a better place for me as the podcast gets to many ears, but also rank our podcast higher in the podcast charts. You can subscribe to this podcast so that you do not miss out any episode as they are released. And also, you could choose to be a guest on the podcast by sending in an email. The email address is theframedsolutions@gmail.com. Thank you once again. Hi, welcome back to the theframedsolutions podcast. I'm delighted that you're tuning in today. Today is Monday as I record this episode. And girl, I've been working on having episodes every week. Actually, last week we had 2 episodes out. And if you haven't caught the last episode, please go and listen to it. In that episode, I shared with you how the power of planning can change your life. And I'm back yet again to talk about creating your dream life. To create your dream life is possible. It's been possible for me, and it can be possible for you. So without further ado, let's get right into this episode. Before I start, I'd like to tell you about dreams. In fact, let me look up the definition of the word dreams. A dream is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in one's mind during sleep. Number 2, a dream is a cherished aspiration, ambition, or idea. Have a minute to think about that. The word cherished. What does cherished mean? Cherished means to protect and care for something or someone lovingly. Number 2, to hold something very dear. So, we all have dreams. Growing up, my dream was to become a doctor, a medical doctor. When I couldn't realize the dream, I decided to become a doctor through PhD. And the work I do is related to helping people's lives become better. That was my dream as a child. I wanted to see people become better. I wanted to treat the sick. Now, I'm not treating the sick, but I work on it from the back end, meaning I'm involved in the making of the drugs and the treatment they need to become better. That's essentially helping people become better. Number 2, my dream as I grew up was to empower other women to achieve big goals, to reach for the stars, to break the glass ceiling, to excel and become better people. To date, I have this podcast because it was a dream to find an outlet that I would use to create this impact I wanted to create. From the definition, you have to hold your dream dear. You have to hold it closely to your heart. You have to nurture it. You have to protect it. You have to care for it lovingly. So the first question I want to ask you, what is your dream life? Your dream life can be influenced by a number of things. It can be influenced by your values. What you consider valuable in your life. What's your value system? Number 2, it is influenced by your upbringing. How were you raised? What did your parents instill in you? What did your society instill in you? How did your religion or your faith beliefs affect the way you believe and what you hold dear? It can be influenced with what you see in the world. Have you seen any social injustices that you want to tackle? Have you seen something that you think you can be good at? Have you seen something that you can help in? Have you seen a problem and a pain point that you can solve? All that can help you create your dreams. So the first question I'm asking you today is, what is your dream life? What do you want out of your life? How do you envision your life down the lane? 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, what impact would you want to have caused to the world? And how do you want to be living? That's number 1. Let those questions that I've given you help you narrow down to what dream life you want. So dreams are the soul food that keeps our souls yearning for more. They captivate our imagination and propel us. But we need to learn to turn these dreams into goals, which goals, when coupled up with action, can help us bring our dreams into a reality. So our first challenge is to decide on what goals you're setting. After you've made these goals, create a plan on how you're going to achieve these goals. And each day, show up and implement these tasks that you're going to do every day to help you achieve those goals that you've set. And on this matter, I would like to invite you to my masterclass that is happening on the 15th of December. In this masterclass, I'm going to take you through my proven 5-step framework that I've used to achieve the goals that I've set in my life. For the last 10 years, I've achieved all the goals that I've set. Some of them have taken me more than 1 year to achieve. Some of them have achieved them in a 1 year's period. Others have achieved them in 4 years period. But I've made the progress toward those goals. 10 years ago, I yearned to be this person that I am today. Today, I'm a living example of the goals that I set for myself 10 years ago. In fact, recently, I was checking my Facebook memories, and there was this post that I posted in 2013 stating that I wanted to be a mom who was present for her children. Today, I work from home. I'm able to raise my daughter and spend most time nurturing her, teaching her, and playing with her as I do my work as a biotechnologist. Imagine, that was a goal I set 10 years ago. To arrive here, I didn't just get here by mistake. I decided to take those small actions that have led me to who I am today. Some of the actions I took did not yield the results I intended them to yield in the short term, but in the long run, they've led me to the person that I am today. So, when you're clear on what goals, you're going to devise the steps you're going to take every single day to get closer to those goals. Some goals might take you a short period of time, while others may take you a longer period of time. Some goals may yield results immediately, while others you may need to work on them, refine them, cross-check them, change the route, have a detour, but again, it will get you closer to those goals. So many of us are scared when it comes to planning because we think when you plan, you're going to create some rigidity. You'll have a structured plan that cannot be changed. I believe that planning has to be dynamic. Your plans have to be dynamic, meaning that they have to adapt to the changing environment that you're in. And one way to do this is for me to present my plan before God. Before I set a plan, I take it before God and I present to Him my plans. As it's said in Proverbs 16:3, commit your plans to the Lord and He will establish them. When I present my plans to God, I tell Him, this is what I want to do. Please help me bring this plan to fruition. Of course, bringing the plan to fruition is not going to mean that I'm not going to have the action that I need to take every day to get those plans. I'm not going to just make the plan and sit back, pray about it, and let it pass. I'll pray about it, but I still take the actions that I need to take to make sure that I get closer to that goal and get the outcome that I intend to get. You get the gist. So, I'm going to leave you with a few journal prompts that you can use to help you get clear on the dream life that you want to achieve. One thing I believe in is writing down your thoughts. Every time you write down your thoughts, it helps you clarify your mind. It helps you clarify those goals. It helps you get rid of all the confusion or the ideas or the things that are running in your mind, and you dump them on a piece of paper. The best way I like to journal sometimes is just to write down what is on my mind. It might be a story, it might be a frame of thinking, it might be an idea, it might be answering questions. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you some of those questions that you can implement to really get clear on what goals you want to set for yourself. Number 1, I've already mentioned, is ask yourself, what does my dream life look like? And in that question, you're going to state, my dream life looks like ABCD. I envision myself 5 years from now having this kind of life. I envision myself in 2024 having this kind of life. Then you write down your answers. As you write down your answers, be explicitly clear on the detail. Write it down. Would you want to wake up early and go for a walk before you go to work? Would you want to work from home? Would you want to have your own business? Would you want to have time for your family? Would you want to work 5 hours a day or a week? Write down everything as you want it to appear in your dream life. After you've written down that, look at your current scenario and decide what are the priority goals that I can tackle right now. It makes no sense for you to write down the dream life and not take the action. After you've written down that, decide on what step you're going to take. What first step is going to lead you closer to that dream life. Then write down that step. It might need you to brainstorm about it and have a sleep over the answers that you've written and have a thought about it. Hold it close to your heart. Take it before God in prayer. Present to Him your plans and tell Him, this is what I want to do. This is my plan. This is what I want to do. Please help me follow through with this plan and help me bring my goals to fruition. Number 3 is, when will I know that I've nailed this step? Of course, your goals are going to appear in steps. You're going to have a number of steps. Say for me, when I decided to start the Frame Solutions podcast, and now I'm venturing into starting the Frame Solutions YouTube, I wrote down my goal. My goal was to have an avenue where I can share lessons that I've learned in my life to help other women become better. That was my goal. Then I wrote down, how can I implement this goal? I looked at my current situation. I Googled, would I use a blog? I could use a blog, but blogs nowadays are not really read. There are so many bloggers out there. Then I looked at the next thing. I'm like, how can I do it? Should I use social media? Then I started my Instagram. When I started my Instagram, I was like, okay, let me use Instagram because Instagram was catching up then. From that, I'm like, okay, now that I have Instagram, how can I bring my followers from Instagram and bring them to work with me or to learn from me on a deeper level? Let me start the podcast. Then I looked at how to start the podcast. When I started the podcast, I devised a plan. Of course, I didn't know anything about podcasting and I'd never really listened to podcasts. So I learned how to record the podcast, how to set it up, and that's why we are here today. After I made the podcast, I'm like, so now after the podcast, if people want to work with me on a one-to-one basis, how do they get to work with me on a one-to-one basis? Down that lane, I was like, okay, I can start one-to-one coaching. Then I started having clients coming to me and coaching them. As I'm coaching them, I'm thinking, what other step can I take? I can create digital products that I can sell to them or give them for free so that they learn more from me, even if I'm not doing the one-to-one coaching. Then I started selling digital products. After selling digital products, I'm like, what other step can I take to get me closer to helping more people? Then I decided to start my newsletter. In fact, if you haven't signed up to my newsletter, a link will be in the description. In that newsletter, I usually send out emails about the things I'm working on, the back end of the business and the Frame Solutions, anything that I don't share on my Instagram regarding the Frame Solutions, I share it on the email. And I have a community of like-minded people who want to get better, who want to achieve bigger results in their lives. And if you're that kind of person, please sign up to the email list. The link will be in the description. So after the email list, I'm thinking, what other thing can I do? Now I'm like, let me start a YouTube channel. You see, all those steps are leading me to my main goal, which main goal is to reach very many masses of women and help them advance themselves and become better. I don't only serve women, but women are my focal point. I can help men too, but women are the people that I want to see get ahead. You get the gist. So I devised a plan, and each step that I've taken down that plan has led me closer to my bigger goal. The next question I want you to journal on is, what does success look like? When will you know that you're successful? Because if you set a goal, it has to be smart. You know about specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So when will you know that you've achieved your goal? Write down the explicit detail of when you know that you've achieved that goal. And when you have achieved that goal, how do you intend to celebrate? I believe that every small win that you get, you should be celebrating it. Celebration could look different for anyone. Me, I love to celebrate by taking myself out. I love good things. I love buying myself perfumes. I love buying myself books that I can read. And I'm like, oh, I'm observing a lot of knowledge from these books. So celebration looks different for everyone. But take time to relish those moments of your achievement. Take time to relish your achievements. Take time to internalize why you've gotten to where you are. Take time to celebrate every small win, because every small win that you have is leading you closer to your big win. If you've enjoyed this episode, I invite you to come and hang with me on the 15th of December. I'm going to take you through my proven framework on setting realistic goals for the coming year, 2024, and how to achieve those goals in the long run. I'm going to share with you my proven 5-step framework that I've used to achieve the goals in my life, and also let you in on what mindset shifts I've had to adopt to become the person that I am. Grab yourself the ticket this week because the prices go up from Friday. And I can't wait to see you on the 15th of December. Catch you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye. I hope you've learned something from this episode. And if you have, please rate and review wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to this podcast. Share it with your family, friends, and those that you think are interested in career development. Also, follow me on the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. The username is theframedsolutions. I can't wait to speak to you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.